Now, you probably know this fascinating little creature with its 8 stubby legs and, let's be honest, wonderfully chubby, translucent body.
Section 1. Meet the indestructible tardigrade.
Section 2. The crushing Mariana Trench.
Section 4. The ultimate pressure showdown.
Section 5. Verdict and cosmic implications.
But do not let that unassuming look fool you. We're looking at what is widely considered the most indestructible living creature ever discovered on Earth.
Section 3. The biology of survival.
And today, we're putting that reputation to the ultimate test by throwing it up against the most unforgiving environment our planet has to offer.
To truly test those legendary limits, we have to kick things off with a massive question. Can this unstoppable biological force—
What's truly staggering about these guys is the sheer variety of conditions that would instantly destroy virtually every other known life form, yet the tardigrade just kind of shrugs them off.
Now, as we travel down into the ocean, the danger builds exponentially. At 200 meters, the light starts fading out really fast.
So the crucial point here is that at 11,000 meters deep in the Mariana Trench, the pressure is over 1,000 times that of the surface.
But the tardigrade has a secret weapon against all of this, and it's called cryptobiosis. Basically, this is a biological mechanism that allows the tardigrade to just hit the pause button on its own life.
It turns out we can actually map out this brilliant biological transformation into 3 specific steps. Step 1 is completely defensive.
There is a super fascinating contrast here when we compare our tiny challengers to the deep-sea locals. Creatures like the Hadal snailfish or the giant isopod,
When we track the exact pressure points where different life forms tap out, a pretty wild picture emerges. Standard ocean animals fail and die at relatively low to moderate extreme pressures.
In fact, real scientific studies have subjected tardigrades in their tune state to pressures exceeding 75,000 atmospheres.
So the scientific verdict is incredibly clear, and honestly, it's pretty awe-inspiring. The Mariana Trench is basically a walk in the park for the mighty tardigrade. Actually survive the immovable, crushing reality of the deep ocean. We already know they survive on dry land and in extreme lab conditions.
I mean, we're talking about surviving the absolute vacuum of outer space. They can withstand extreme doses of radiation that would literally fry human DNA in seconds. Boiling temperatures? No problem.
By 1,000 meters, we're officially in the midnight zone, meaning absolutely no sunlight ever reaches there, and the pressure's already immense.
We're talking about a pitch-black environment with immense gravitational weight. To really wrap your head around it, this level of pressure would instantly obliterate the human body,
while it waits out the danger. When the environment turns hostile, whether that's extreme heat, freezing cold, or in our case, devastating pressure,
they shield their DNA from damage using a highly unique protein called DSUP, which literally stands for damage suppressor. Step 2 is where the real magic happens.
are naturally biologically adapted to swim through these depths. Their cell membranes and proteins are specifically structured to thrive under that immense pressure. The tardigrade, on the other hand, isn't naturally adapted to live in the Mariana Trench at all.
Even highly specialized deep-sea microorganisms have a strict threshold where the pressure forces their cells to collapse, resulting in a firm fail and die status. But the tardigrade?
Remember a minute ago when we said the bottom of the Mariana Trench was about 1,000 times surface pressure? Yeah, 75,000 atmospheres.
Its absolute limits far, far exceed the deepest, most crushing pressures found anywhere on Earth. By utilizing cryptobiosis, its unique D-sub protein— But what happens when you take this microscopic marvel and plunge it into the bone-crushing depths of the abyss? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
The frozen, desolate conditions of the Antarctic? Easy. Even complete dehydration for decades. They just power down and wait it out. It's honestly almost alien, isn't it?
But the real story takes place all the way on the ocean floor at nearly 11,000 meters. Just to put that into perspective, that is deeper than Mount Everest is tall.
it would crush modern submarines like they were cheap tin cans. It's an environment so unbelievably extreme that survival seems biologically impossible for anything that hasn't perfectly adapted to it over millions of years.
The tardigrade enters this state of extreme suspended animation. It transforms into a near-indestructible, dried-up little ball called a ton.
They expel their body water and replace it with a specialized sugar called trehalose, and that prevents their internal structures from shattering or crystallizing under stress. Finally, step 3, they curl up into that invincible ton state we just talked about. They basically become these glass-like fortresses. They're biologically inactive but incredibly resilient.
It uses an entirely different approach of extreme biological suspension to simply outlast and endure the pressure. It's basically the difference between being born native to a harsh environment versus throwing on an indestructible spacesuit.
It is pushed to extreme, unprecedented levels, and its status stubbornly continues to survive.
The numbers recorded in scientific studies are absolutely mind-blowing.
Completely shatters the maximum limits of the deepest trenches on Earth. The tardigrade isn't just surviving the trench, it's practically over-engineered for it.
And that trehalose sugar replacement, the tardigrade turns the most lethal environment on our planet into nothing more than a waiting room.
Which brings us to an absolutely incredible realization to end on. If life on Earth can naturally engineer this level of absolute indestructibility, surviving radiation, the vacuum of space, boiling heat, and 75,000 atmospheres of pressure, what does that mean for the search for life in the extreme environments of other planets? If something this resilient exists right here in our own backyard moss, the universe might be absolutely teeming with life just waiting to be discovered. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.